Hi, I'm Brandon with Serenity Bushcraft, and this is going to be the my first video for my backyard bushcraft series. And I'm sure there's a lot of other series like that on YouTube. Not exactly an original idea, but that's okay. Well, right now it's 5:50 on the 23rd of September. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a fire using nothing but a magnification glass and natural materials. No char cloth, nothing like that. So I'm going to move the camera over here so you can see the bird's nest construction, which is all I'm using is eastern red cedar bark. And I'm not going to make a very big bird's nest because all I'm going to do is get a flame and throw it in the fire pit. So right now I'm just processing down some of the stuff down to super teeny. Which is about what I want there. I'll pull a little of that off to process a little bit further down. And I've got some other stuff that's just about ready, and we're gonna process that just a little bit. Alright, so that's a quick, simple, down and dirty bird's nest. Now is what I'm going to do is take some of this other stuff and get some, process this down just as fine as I can. And I'm hoping I got enough sunlight left to actually make this happen, but it's a nice bright day, so I think this will work. So what I'm going to do is get this processed pretty fine, and I'm going to roll it into a tight, compact little ball. Just like that there. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, move my bucket over a little bit, and I'm hoping that you guys will be able to see this. All I'm using is a magnification glass, a fire glass, and I'm gonna focus it in on my ember, get it nice and focused. And you notice how I'm holding my hands here, so everything's nice and stable. Now I got it pointed at the sun, and I'm gonna just hold it here for a little bit. Shouldn't take too long. Before I turn this little ball I've made into an ember. And so I'm going to do that focal spot it's just blocked by the camera there, but the focal spot will eventually get nice and hot. There we go. I'm starting to get a little bit of smoke, just a little bit. And once it starts smoking, even ever so slightly, I'm going to start moving the lens in a very small, that focal point, in a very small circle around my ember, or around that little ball of tightly packed red cedar. And the idea is I'm trying to make a large glowing ember out of this. Now if this material is not packed tight, is what ends up happening is all those photons from the sun focused into one little point turn into kind of a laser beam of sorts, and it just punches a hole right through this before it ever has any chance to build up any heat and grow into an ember. Now, of course, this is easier with char cloth. I'd already have an ember, and I'd probably already have a flame. But using natural materials is good practice. And just like a bow drill fire bundle, once this starts smoking on its own, it's probably ready to go, ready to be placed into the bird's nest. And we're almost there. See how it's kind of smoking on its own there. So I'm going to put that in the bird's nest. There we got flames. It's easy as that. And that'd get a fire going just about anywhere in the United States. So, well, hopefully you learned something from that. Just a simple process using the bark off of an eastern red cedar tree, which they grow all over northeastern Oklahoma here, and a small magnification glass. Now, before I get off here, I'll show you how much easier it is if you have char cloth. I won't actually build a bird's nest again. I'll just show you. We'll focus the sun on it, and see that glowing. And I already had an ember, so that took seconds with the with the char cloth. So I actually carry this lens as part of my fire kit everywhere I go. A little container full of char cloth. I can use that little metal container to make more char cloth as I need it. And you know, anytime the sun's out, I've got fire. So anyway, I'm Brandon Schoffer with Serenity Bushcraft, and we'll get back with you with another installment. Remember, knowledge doesn't weigh anything, so load your pack down with it.